Somebody's on the San Francisco Bridge.
Mm-hmm. All right, welcome to today's Zoom at noon with Arizona Lending Specialist. I am Amore Hernandez, also known as Mo the Mortgage Lady. So today's topic of conversation is going to be, how are you expanding your footprint in today's market? So it's an open forum. Please don't feel in any way, shape, or form that I'm the only one who's going to speak. I want all of us to have an opportunity to share. So here's just the breakdown of how we're going to, I don't want this to be an hour-long meeting either. I know we're all busy. We're all still trying to be productive. So I'm hoping we can keep this to about a half an hour. Give or take. Of course, if it's jiving and it's being so organically beautiful, we want to keep going, let's do it. I know that we can all multitask and be as productive as possible while we're enjoying being on this call together. You'll see me jump in and out only because I'm trying to also take care of the invitations coming in, or excuse me, the admitting the newest attendees. So again, I just want to share that the topic of today is how to increase or how to expand your footprint in today's market. So we're going to take a few seconds, minutes to introduce each other. I'm going to go down the line the way I see you guys on my screen. So just give me a few seconds. I see first up Ursa. I'm going to ask you guys to say who you are, who you work with, and what your piece of the puzzle is for the industry today. Go ahead, Ursa, you're up. And I think you're muted.
Right, Ursa Ames. It's okay. Ursa Ames with Personal Express Insurance here in Southern Arizona. And I'm so happy to be invited to this. Thank you so much.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Ursa. Sylvia, you're up next.
Hola, I'm Silvia Cuevas with Liberty Mutual Insurance. So thank you, Mo, for having us
Absolutely
together.
Thank you. Claudia?
Hi there, I am Claudia Bernal. I am with Arizona Lending Specialist. I'm in the great team with Mo, Eddie, and Fina, and we love it. Thank you for having this, Mo.
Absolutely, thank you. Eddie?
What's up, guys? I'm Eddie Boteo with Arizona Lending Specialist, as well with Mo and Claudia.
All right, John? Muted? Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, next, Fina.
Hi. I'm Fina. Hi, guys, ladies. Arizona Lending Specialist and 33 Realty.
Awesome. And John's back. John?
I'm back. John Lowe with J&J Capital Funding.
Awesome. Very cool. So as you can see, the attendees for today, actually, we just lost one of our lenders or one of our fellow broker sisters out of California. She may have dropped her connection, Love Creek. But anyways, as you can tell, the majority of us on here, the pieces of the puzzle that we fit into is lending and insurance. So this is going to be a great topic for all of us, because I think that right now the biggest hurdle that we're trying to come across is how to survive in today's market. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of backstory on why this is happening. This room, anyways, this initiative to share via Zoom with everybody. One of my 2020 goals for my vision board was to do something every day that would help me personally, financially, professionally. So whether I'm reading something, watching something, or listening to something. So reading an article, watching a webinar, or participating in a webinar, or listening to a podcast. I've been doing something like that every single day since the beginning of the year. My team is well aware because I bombard them with emails every single day with stuff that I learn, things that I pick up in order to share and be able to bring everybody up. Because when the tide rises, all the boats have the opportunity to rise with the tide. So it's something that I think is beneficial in our industry for us to be able to sit at a table together, whether we are directly competing with each other or collaborating with each other. So that's a little bit of the backstory of why I think that this is important for us to have this opportunity, because a lot of times in our industry, our biggest thing is to just sell, 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 and make units and make numbers. And what I am learning and what I've been learning is that we have to have that human and that personal touch. We have to be able to get our audience to engage with us. So if we are constantly, and excuse the word, pardon the terminology, but if all we are communicating is vomiting on them about why they should use us for sales, why they should use us for their mortgages or their insurance or their landscaping or, their painting, whatever it is that our sales pitches, if they don't connect with us with our craziness, with our, weaknesses, with us as a human, then they won't connect with us, period. So the conference call that I was on yesterday was with a bunch of realtors out of the state of California, and it was hosted by one of my direct wholesalers in California. And one of the biggest things that I took away from that is one of the realtors said that we have to be out there while we're in here. And that spoke so loudly to me, because we're all confined. We're confined to our homes, we're confined to our home office or our garage or our bedroom, and mentally that can put us in a box. And we need to be able to break out of that box and be able to continue to move forward with the positive momentum. I'm super thankful for the team that I have who just dives in right in there with me. Let's try it. Let's get dirty. Let's figure it out. So I think that that's something that we as Arizona Lending Specialists wanted to share with our community. Like I said, whether we're competitors or we're teammates, whether we're collaborating, whatever the case may be, I think that this is an opportunity for the industry to be able to share and be able to be open and just have those conversations. So who would like to share how they are trying to think outside of the box right now, living in the box that we're in? So how are you out there while you're in here? Who would like to share?
I think it's hard. I think it's hard that we all have to think outside the box nowadays. What I'm doing is I'm beating everybody to the punch and saying, "Hey, let's do a video. Let me invite."
What's up, sister?
That way I can let you know what's happening in my side. So that's what I'm trying to do is get in front of the other agents, my partners, to see if I can get in front of their agents. The word, right? Just to know that, let them know that we're here to help out, and that that's what we're here for.
I love it. I love it. Let me actually.
For Charlie.
Yeah.
Hey, John, would you mute yourself for a second?
Signature.
John,
What's that?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so that's a really good point. You do have to be the first one out the gate, the first one to be able to capture that audience. Does anybody else have anything to share on what's working for them? And then just unmute yourself, and then so that you can come on in and talk. Thanks, John. Anybody else?
What was the question again? Sorry, I heard.
The question was, what are you doing to think outside of the box right now while we're being forced to live in a box? So what are you doing to try to break out? To what could you share that is working for you? Or even if you haven't done anything yet, share with us what your intention is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's right now it's my patience is being tested. So I'm trying to be more patient. I know everybody is trying to get used to this new working from home deal, but it's kind of, you're used to, I was spoiled. I would get things within 24 hours. I would, get my answers right away. But now it's like everybody's so backed up. So you just kind of have to be empathetic with them and, hey, we understand, but at the same time, still be, like you said, persistent without feeling like I'm bugging.
Right.
So that's what I'm working on. Something new for me. I'm, like I said, I'm just used to instant.
Yes.
And it's not like that anymore right now.
No, it's with everybody working from home, it's definitely adding an extra layer that wasn't there before. You hit the nail on the head. And I think that you're right. A lot of us are being tested with our patients. And just like you said, having to practice empathy and patience that, we maybe weren't that good at. I can attest to it myself, as well. I think that that's a very valid point. And I'd actually like to take it a step further and have all of us reflect on how our customers are feeling as well. Because our customers right now, they are more than likely living day by day wanting to figure out if they're going to get a call that their employer doesn't have a job for them tomorrow. So that's a wonderful way, Fina, for us to reflect on ourselves, but then turn it around and reverse engineer it and then apply it to our customers who are waiting for us too. Because it's all a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
We request something, we wait, we get it, and then we send it to the next. So I think that that's a beautiful way for us to really pay attention to our own habits of how they need to be tweaked. And I think that was a really great way for you to say that we have to practice that empathy, to be able to function in the space that we have, and be able to also kind of spread it forward and apply that in the beginning with our customers as well.
Right. That way they feel that from us as well. Like, okay, she's understanding, she's patient, she cares, she's following up, I know what I'm going through mentally, still trying to keep it under control, but I can't imagine what others are going through.
Right. And I think that, does anybody else have anything to share so that we can get into like 4 steps of how to create and expand your footprint right now during this crisis? Does anybody have anything else that they're already working on or something that they're intending to be working on during this time?
I think the main thing is communication. Fina said it as well, but I think with my borrower, I communicate with her every single day. And we have to stay on track because of everything that's happening. We have to make them feel better so that we feel better. We pass the buck. So communication is key for me.
Yes, I agree. I think that is a beautiful way for us to set that expectation. I think that right now, with the constant changes that we're having, not only in our own industry, but as a nation, it seems like every time the news comes on, something new is being announced. So I think that that's a great way, Claudia, for us to have that level of commitment, right? Because communication means commitment. So the more that we can communicate with our team, our family, our kids, but most especially right now, our customers, they have to have that availability with us. So I think that's beautiful for you to share that too, because it's very important. I think that for us to always remember that our customers are ours for a very specific amount of time. And when that time is over, we need to have established such a relationship that it feels like time has not passed. And it feels like it's not anything different to pick up the phone and say, hey, what's up? Or a message, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Because then what happens is then it reverses. And then they start reaching out to us. Hey, Mo, I saw your crazy video. You're a nut. Or, hey, Claudia, I saw your horse. What a beautiful horse. Because once you can open those lines of communication, it's not only business anymore. You're establishing a relationship. And when you can establish that relationship, the layers and the facets are limitless. And that's how you grow, right? So that's a wonderful way. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, because communication is key, and communication sets that confidence. So this is what I learned from yesterday's conference call, from that big realtor group that was on yesterday. There's 4 things. First of all, let me say, how many of us have paid for software or systems or webinars, have attended things, and then we come back and we're like, I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take over, and and then when it's like, nah, I forgot. Or I wrote it down, didn't establish anything, right? You know, Eddie brought up a really good point. I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he was talking to some people in our industry, and the question was, what's the best CRM? Customer relationship management, okay? Client relationship management. It's a tool. And the answer was the one you use. So basic. You can have the most expensive CRM out there. You can have the most inexpensive CRM out there. But if you don't put that tool to use for you, it's worthless. So these are the 4 main ingredients, if you will, of how to establish and expand your footprint right now. And let me share with you why it's important right now to establish it. And I'm going to take just a few minutes to explain this. So I hope everybody is really zoned into what I'm about to say. The entire nation, the entire world is in a crisis right now. People are losing their jobs, people are losing their minds, and people are sick and dying. Should we be posting about how my interest rate is 3%? No. Should I be posting about how to whatever in the industry you're in? No. What we should be posting about is things about the community, things that are lighthearted, and ways for us to be able to produce content that maybe has nothing to do with our industry, but is setting the tone that we're going to be okay. Something that was shared yesterday was, you have to be optimistic so that people will believe that we're going to be okay. So when you're a leader, and I hope you all understand that each one of you is a leader, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO or the janitor. I don't care, because there are people who follow you, whether you're the CEO or the janitor. So you're a leader of your circle of influence. People will come to you before they go anywhere else. And you have to understand that power. You have to understand the responsibility. So with that, right now is the time for you to expand your footprint so that you can develop deep relationships and deep confidence. Because when this is all over and the market is on fire all over again, you don't want to be an ambulance chaser. You don't want to be the one that's coming in at the end and saying, hire me, hire me, hire me. No. Those guys who do that are a flash in the pan. They're here today and gone tomorrow. Okay? That's not the life I want. That's not the life I've led. You have to do the hard things so that down the road, you can say, I learned, I survived, I'm better. So it's hard right now for all of us. Some of you talked about having to pay for leads. Some of you are having to reorganize your companies. It's fine. You have to believe that at the end of this, we're going to be better. Because for whatever reason, we have to go through this for plans that are bigger than you and me. Okay? So, the 4 tips on how to expand your footprint starting today. Social media. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just do it. I think that that's the biggest problem a lot of us have, is that we are our own worst critics. Complete. We will tear ourselves down faster than anybody. Granted, it keeps us humble and it keeps us in touch to ourselves and our weaknesses. But we live in the world, we live in a very digital world, and that can't be a part of the formula. So you have to be uncomfortable with yourself. I like to call them 1 takes or 2 takes. I do a lot of videos, but I don't do them a lot of times until it's perfect. I think that the imperfection is something that people can relate to. I'll let a cuss word out every now and then. So I think that we just have to be okay with it not being perfect. Because guess what, guys? I don't know about you, but, Tito's Vodka isn't sending me a monthly check because I'm drinking Tito's on screen. Okay?
Damn it.
I mean, seriously. So you guys have to understand that as long as you're comfortable with any reaction, do it. Who cares? Post about your kids, your dogs, your life, whatever. Because right now, I don't know if you guys are seeing all of, I don't know if you manage Facebook pages, but if you do manage Facebook pages, you should be getting emails and messages talking about how the system is being overloaded right now, because the population that was normally at work from 9 to 5 is now home. Mm-hmm. Granted, we all find ways to be on Facebook and social media, but right now those systems are being so overloaded because people are dying to see something that makes them laugh and feel good. Something that isn't talking about the 76-year-old who just died today, or the 4-year-old who is on a respirator. They're dying for content. Find a way to engage with them. And I think we also have to break it down a little bit. Don't think that you have to, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said, how do you eat a whale? 1 bite at a time. Duh. You're not here to eat the whole whale. You're not here to be the #1 of your industry overnight. Because I'll tell you what, you'll never sleep again. It has to be, you have to get there. It takes time, but you have to start today. So social media, you got to do it. There's a lot of people who don't want their personal life mixed with their business life. Totally understandable. So in whatever realm you wish to live, whether it's personal page or business page, you have to live there. You have to live there. Because once they don't see you, it takes a lot of time to get back. So if you haven't been posting daily, multiple times a day, before today, I'm going to challenge you to start today. Everybody is overloading social media so much. The saturation percentages are out of this world. So if you don't start today, tomorrow you're already days behind. In 24 hours, you're not just 24 hours behind, you're days behind. Think about when you're on your phone and you're swiping. How many people can you go through in 30 seconds? Right? Get on there and be on there and get them to engage with you. Don't sell, just be. Now is the time to build relationships. I told my team, right now is the time for us to reach out to our past customers first. You have to. I don't care if you only closed them yesterday or last year or 5 years ago. I don't care if you never closed them. If you talked to them, you need to reach out to them and find out, number one, how are they? Are they okay? Do they need anything? I know that our pockets are not limitless, but our hearts are. You can share a moment with them. You can be a sounding board for them, and you can direct them in the right way. Do they need to file for unemployment? Here, let me help you. Do you need WIC for your kids? Here, let me help you. The Arizona Cardinals put together a wonderful resource. It's called ArizonaTogether.org. They've done the work for us. All we have to do is share it. It's in English and it's in Spanish. Guys, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to find the tools that match to our project. So you have to build those relationships. You have to rebuild relationships, and you have to strengthen them. So make sure in some way, shape, or form, you're reaching out to your clients and your partners. Make sure they feel that you see them, that you remember them. I don't know about you, but I love it when somebody sees something crazy on the internet and they tag me. And they're like, Mo, I could totally see you doing this. Or Mo, whatever. Like, that's super awesome, because I do that all the time. I do it all the time. So when I get that back, oh my gosh, it feels good. Do that for your customers. Do that for your business partners. So a lot of people, that was number 2. So number 1, social media. Number 2, building relationships. Number 3, back to the old ways. I don't know if you guys have been seeing a lot of commenting about how, because we're being restricted to staying home, we're going back to cooking, baking, spending time outside with our kids, walking our dogs. I saw a meme of a dog completely exhausted that said, please go back to work. I don't want you walking me every day. It's sort of a return to the old ways, okay? Take advantage of that. Go order yourself. I'm not going to say go to the store, because obviously there's, for us here in Arizona, there's a stay-at-home semi sort of halfway, quasi, whatever you want to call it, order. So either order it online, or whenever you get a minute, order yourself some thank you cards. And guess what? Send one a day. Buy yourself a roll of stamps. Send one a day. We just entered the first, well, yesterday was day 1. Today's day 2. Today is the day 2 of quarter 2. Quarter 1 is gone, guys. We did what we could do. We smashed goals. The slate is clean. If you are going to have a successful quarter 2 in the middle of this crisis, you need to get working today. You can't wait until the middle of May or the beginning of June. You have to start today. It takes 90 days to turn a lead. Granted, that's my analogy because of the time that I've been in the business. It takes 90 days to turn a cold lead into something. We're all in sales. We all know that we have to have fat pipelines. We have to have a bunch of irons in the fire and constantly be turning them. 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 3 out, 5 in, 2 out. You have to have it. And the best way is going back to step 2, building those relationships. But in step 3, take it back. Go old school. Send a handwritten card. Say thank you. Say, I thought of you. Say happy birthday. Whatever. Print something. Any way that you can, just to make that personal connection with your database and your partners. So that's sort of a return to the old, I guess is what they're calling it. And then lastly, step 4 is this right now. Welcome to the new. This is our world we're living in, guys. And to be very honest with you, I don't think we're going to go back to the world we were in before. In any industry that you're in right now, this is the new. This is the way that business is going to be run now. This is going to, we were already seeing clients, at least in my industry and in Arizona Lending's seat at the table, we were already seeing our clients being very educated with options, understanding the power that they had with looking at different options for financing. That increase from Q3, Q4 into 2020, whoa, we were ramping up for something. I mean, it was spectacular. Q1 was great, not gonna lie. Q2, because of the pandemic, because of this crisis, we have to work extra hard. But this, doing Zooms, doing Facebook Lives, making ourselves available to not only our customers, but our industry partners, that is where the next catapult's gonna come. That is how we will be able to secure our seat at the table. So you have to be comfortable with seeing yourself on screen. I think it's funny, like when people want their pictures to always be done up to the nines. I don't care. That's not what you look like on your Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Sorry. You have to. So when you are not comfortable sharing yourself, how do you expect people to be comfortable sharing with you? The industries that we're in, lending and insurance, we get into the nitty gritty. We gonna find out about bankruptcies. We're gonna find out that they had claims on their old house that's gonna follow them to this new house. We're gonna find out that they have child support that their new wife doesn't know about. Okay? So we have to be able to be okay to meet them where they are. That's something that was also shared. You have to meet your clients where they are. So if they're coming from a place of fear, you have to meet them at that place of fear and help lead them towards confidence. If they're coming to you from a place of uncertainty or stress, you have to recognize it, you have to be able to analyze it, and you have to be able to help them get away from that. And the best way that you're gonna do it is by not being a robot. You cannot be a robot in sales. People will pick it up. Granted, there's plenty of people out there who want the flashy, who want the Lamborghini, who want the, the high gloss. That's fine, but that's what they're paying for. Do you guys understand that? That's what they're paying for. So at the end of the day, our clients are our clients for a reason, because we're producing a product for them. We are a commodity. They have choices. Get them to connect with you so that the choice is obvious. I'm going to stay with Eddie because Eddie is ready. Hashtag. So that's how you need to approach your business right now. You need to understand, and I'm going to say it again, we are all leaders of our circle of influence. When we look at our friends list and we see the people who are constantly sharing, constantly engaging, constantly, commenting on our social media, that is your audience. Those are the people, when they get asked a question, hey, whatever, I'm going to buy a house, or I need to get a house. Oh, you know what? My friend, Fina, she's a loan officer. Let me share you her information. Where do you think they're going to share it? On social media. They're going to share your profile. Or maybe they'll send a text message, but it seems like everybody's sharing everything through social media. So you have to understand that, and you have to be okay with it. You have to. I'm not telling you to do something that you're not comfortable with, and I'm definitely not telling you to do something I don't do myself. It took me a long time to break down that wall. If you have been friends with me for more than 5 years, you know that I used to go by a different name on Facebook because I didn't like sharing personal stuff with the world. And then the light bulb went off and I let it down. And here I am today with a beautiful team that likes to be crazy with me. So you have to be able to connect those four. Social media, do it. Don't overthink it. Building relationships or rebuilding relationships, do it. Who cares if you haven't talked to them in 6 months? Who cares if you haven't talked to them in a year? Send a simple note. Hey, just checking in. Are you okay? Don't be salesy. Don't say, hey, do you need life insurance? No. Say, hey, do you need toilet paper? Because I need toilet paper too. Let's go find some together. Handwritten cards. Let's go back to those days, guys. Eddie has been doing it for a really long time. I just started doing it last year. Do it. The response is amazing. And the best part is that you're doing it, and then when they receive it, it's private. They're not posting it on social media. Some of them do, but most of them don't. It's very intimate. They send you a note. They pick up the phone and call you. It's super intimate. You can't get more intimate than that. And then lastly, videos. Get comfortable with Zoom. Get comfortable with Facebook Live. There's so many tools out there. There's so many ways that you can basically pay out the butt for a bunch of services. Take advantage of what's free right now. Don't do too much and then have so many tools that you're not utilizing. Take it baby steps at a time. Start with these first 4. Let's, here we are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us on this call right now. It'd be cool if tomorrow there was 9. It'd be cool if Monday there was 10. It doesn't matter. This isn't for anything other than being able to share things together and having that sounding board. One tip I will tell you I forgot about on social media, and this just came up about 2 weeks ago, and I'm working on it, so you'll understand. You need to have the same profile picture on all of your social media accounts. People are bouncing back and forth between Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Pinterest. Try to use the same fancy schmancy picture amongst them all, because mentally it makes a connection. I see her on Facebook, there she is on Instagram, there she is on TikTok. Try. Also, in your profiles, put your dang phone number and your email or your website. There has to be something in your intro that also gives them the opportunity to contact you. Yes, there's buttons, call me, whatever. Put it in there. You guys have noticed, I'm sure, in my posts, every single post, I put my hashtag and I put my phone number. That's how people share. They screenshot my shit and then they send it off. And then I get a phone call that says, hey, my buddy Juan saw you on Facebook and sent me your phone number. Don't make it harder for your customers to find you, because when it's hard to find you, they're gonna stop looking. So that was an extra piece there on social media. So I'm wanting us to take this as an opportunity for us to grow together in our separate industries, but together as leaders of our communities, because we all are leaders. So take these tips, apply them to your business, and see where you are in 30 days. Because we're just day 2 of April, but we're day 2 of 90 for Q2. And once you reverse engineer that shit, oh my God, like you need to put that foot on the pedal. You do not let up the gas right now. And that's all I have to share. So how about comments, questions? Anybody want to share anything? Anybody have any ideas, anything that maybe popped up? That's the type of person I am. I'll be hearing somebody talking and then I'm like, oh my God. Ugh. You know, does anybody want to share anything that was a light bulb moment for them maybe right now?
I think the thank you cards, the handwritten thank you cards, absolutely. I mean, that's old school stuff, but I know how I feel when and I've received a few. Absolutely, great idea. 100%.
Yes.
Let's go back old school. Let's hand write it out, and it's a very warming feeling when you get that. And you're absolutely right. It's way different than social media. So
yes.
Love it.
I think it's going to be a little bit harder for the thank you cards, just because of the people aren't going to work.
So how would you overcome that? Pick up the phone. Eddie, how would you overcome that?
Have a conversation and get their home address.
I would go an extra step and like someone said, pick up the phone, right? Make a phone call, or even look them up on public record and send them a card to their house.
Creeper. No, just kidding.
We're in the industry, right? I mean, that'll be a total surprise.
I love it. Yeah, you're right. So what you just saw there was a roadblock, right? Placed. Eddie had a very valid roadblock. So together we worked through, okay, how do we get over this? So you guys also apply that to yourselves, because we'll do that. We will do that to ourselves. We'll be like, I don't know, but blah, 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 blah. Okay, clear the space. What's my next option? Remember, guys, there's a multitude of ways of solving a problem. See the problem, analyze it, accept it. How will you move forward from there? Great point, Eddie. That was a really great point. Anybody else?
I liked what you said about the social media part. I'm comfortable with social media, and I actually help a lot of small businesses with it. But you know how like when you help other people, sometimes you neglect yourself? So I like what you said about like just letting down the guard and just dive in. You don't have to have a plan every single day and all this stuff, just do it. And so I think I needed to hear that as far as motivation anyhow. And just in my mind, I'm so like organized and analytical that it's like, forget it, just do it, you know, every day. Do 1 or 2 things every day, that's it.
Yes.
So, and
yes.
We're on social media, so why just take a minute or 2 and do something for your business? And I think the business and personal kind of goes together, because I think we're all human, and I think it makes us have a connection with somebody when you can see the human side to them, not
yes.
just this starch professional that's, you know, trying to withhold a certain image and stuff like that. And when you see them as a human being, then I think that's when you connect more anyways.
Agreed, 100%. And you're very right. You just have to be comfortable. You have to be okay, and you have to be confident. Obviously, we're not going to share things that are going to be detrimental to our business, right? Obviously, you know, there's always, you know, regulations in place. Our companies will tell us what we can and cannot. So, you know, very true. But I think that just taking that extra step and either, you know, taking that extra step of just sharing something, whether it's you as the original content creator, or while you're building your confidence, go follow people, go follow news stories, go follow things that are relevant in your sphere. Hey, the local pizza shop is having a sale today. Boom, share it. It doesn't have to be just you or your original content. And I think that helps. That helps because it starts to get you on the feed and all of that. So that's really good. And you're very right. We neglect ourselves because we're pushing forward, and I think that just recognizing that is half the battle. So that's good, Priscilla. That's really, really good. Anybody else?
Well, one thing for me is the social media, of course. But what you said about being uncomfortable, I try and tell myself that, but then I wind up putting a roadblock. But then I see videos where people say when they make a mistake, or and I'm like, oh, that sentence didn't sound right, or but then I'm like, but she didn't care. Why do I care so much about making the mistake? So
yeah,
I mean, this I don't know if it's confidence or it's or what's the reason why. What is my roadblock?
So
identify the roadblock or trying to figure a way to get around it.
So I think that a lot of times if we're not confident with what we're saying, that will lead to us breaking down, and that will lead to us not being in a space where we can speak freely. So I think that maybe the best way for somebody, like what you're saying, Fina, I think the best thing then is to share what you know and show what you know. Because it would be very hard for me right now to try to do a video about reverse mortgages because my skill set is very small. I know that I have access to it, but I don't feel confident talking about it. So maybe for you, start with things that you're passionate about, because when we're passionate, it shows in our eyes. Like I'm sure when we go back to this and you play it back and you are either watching me when I'm talking or when you're watching yourselves, look at your eyes and look at how when you're talking, you'll see points where your eyes go like this. I did a video a few days ago where I talked about customers not jeopardizing their asset. And I saw my eyes like, wow, go real big because I was trying so hard to not be emotional about it, but to emphasize that I'm very fearful of customers losing their houses when they absolutely have no need to be in that predicament. And the passion can be felt with the tone in your voice and your eyes when we're on video. So just break it down for yourself and just record yourself cooking, record yourself putting on your makeup, but for you. No, really, for you. Record yourself.
But when that happens, to be honest, when I'm recording myself to try to get comfortable with myself, like even this is I'm starting to get comfortable with the Zoom thing, but even recording myself to try to get comfortable with myself, I feel like there's 3 million people looking at me at that moment.
Somebody shared with me that is when we are expecting a lot from others. We are expecting them to sing our praises. Sing your own. Sing your own praises. Don't wait for somebody to pat you on the back. Don't wait for somebody to tell you good job. Don't let that be the way that you feel accomplished or that you feel validated. Validate yourself. Know that you have key points in your life that have made you who you are, and that those key points are going to be valuable for somebody who will connect with you. That's who you're looking for.
Yeah.
You're not looking for some random, oh, Fina, you're so awesome. I love it. Likes are cool, comments are cool. That is a validation. I'm not going to downplay that. But your validation should come from within first, because then everybody else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So don't look for the feedback. I think that that's what you're trying to say is you're afraid of the feedback. You're afraid of them saying, why did you do that? Or why did you say that? You want it to be, you're awesome, you're the best, you're amazing, you're beautiful, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Fuck that. Say it to yourself.
I will promise to start working on that.
Say it to yourself.
Affirmations, right? Make sure you have affirmations every morning, and they might be simple. I mean, my boys have them every morning. They say there are three things, right? I'm brave, I'm strong, and I'm smart. Goes through it every morning, and I hear them every morning say it, right? And you have to instill in them, and I'm hoping that when they grow up, they still continue it and they elaborate more, right? And I think that's just a right good step in the morning, right? Just gets your pep in the step. Like they say, make your bed in the morning, right? Why? Because then you'll feel accomplished. Why? First thing you got up and did is made your bed. You feel accomplished. You did something in the morning, right? Yep. And that'll be your tone for the day, right? Just getting shit done.
Exactly. You set your day in the beginning. And let me take it a step further for us girls, okay? How many of us, I know, Eddie, how many of us are like, well, I'm working from home. Do I really have to get dressed? Blah, 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 blah. The first week I was home, I was in sweats and a t-shirt and my pantuflas, my house shoes. I don't want that. That was cool for a week because, didn't have to wear a bra if I didn't want to, whatever, I was comfortable. But then having to get, Lynette is saying that's why my camera is off. Okay, then you better be dolled up and ready to go at the next one, Lynette. That's why these Zoom things are important. It's important for you to, even if it's just one-on-one, guys, even if it's just you and your cube mate, your office mate, or you with somebody else in another industry, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to have accountability. And maybe that's what this group will turn into. I don't know. I just know that right now there's a need for people to be able to share ideas and have a way to get resources. We don't all have the same availability financially, time-wise, whatever. We're not the same. But when we come together and we bring our specialty dish to this big old potluck, oh my God, it's awesome. So, Eddie is 100% right. You have to start the day the right way. You have to start the day the right way. And for the last 2 weeks, I've been getting up, getting dressed, doing my hair and my makeup to sit in my dining room. And I am intentionally not wearing my house shoes. I am wearing shoes because they make me show up. Guys, I don't know what it is. We are a nature of, what is it called? A beast of nature or a nature beast? I don't know what the hell, how do you say that?
Nature of habit.
Nature of habit. Thank you.
Creatures of habit.
Creatures of habit. Too much Tiger King. But yes, we are creatures of habit. So if we are in our house shoes, that is going to mentally relax us. I'm not telling you to wear your stilettos, but maybe put on some flats. Maybe put on your tennis shoes and tie them. I think that those are the things, like I said, this crisis is not only a health crisis, it is not only a financial crisis, it is changing our world. It is changing everything from how many times we're washing our hands, how crazy we are at the grocery store. Don't touch me, get away from me. Those things are changing, and we're not, I don't think we're ever going to go back to the world we were in just 2-3 a month ago. But that's okay, because we have the opportunity right now to set the new standard for our new. So yeah, daily affirmations, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna actually start doing something with that with my kids. Beautiful, thank you for sharing that, Eddie. Starting the day right, starting the day the right way. And jumping in on all these free webinars that are all over the place. I mean, honestly, since January 1, there was like 1 or 2 a day that were announced, and I would pick which one I wanted to be on. In the last 2 weeks, all of these webinars through different industries, I'm not only attending webinars for real estate and lending, I'm getting into different webinars for direct sale. You know, right now, our Mary Kay people, our, you know, essential oils people, they're struggling because that's their business. They sell every day, day and night, every day, because they're selling out of their linen closet, or they have a little space in their garage. How are they, you know, figuring out how to carve themselves into this new environment? I pay attention to, you have to pay attention to what's happening to you. Let's take it even one step closer. Look at your local restaurants. How many of them are delivering alcohol? When was that ever a thing? When was that ever a thing for you to walk out of a restaurant with a 6-pack of beer?
Really?
When was that ever a thing for you to order Mexican food from Eva's restaurant in Casa Grande and the van pulls up and asks you if you want a margarita? When was that a thing, guys? Not yesterday, not last week, not last month when we lived in last month. You have to adapt. You have to adapt and you have to overcome, and you have to figure out the best way for you to apply it to your business. So yeah, at the end of all of this, this is a way for you to succeed. This is a way for all of us to have our own way to ensure success of our businesses in 2020. But we can't only look at it that way. We have to understand every single layer of the onion of this business. We have to understand every single layer that can affect the way we do business. So it's not that hard. I think we get so like this and like this. You need to be like this. Look around. Listen to the commercials on the radio. Watch the commercials on TV. Look at the tone that's being sent. Look at all of that and figure out a way to interpret it for yourself. Look at people who you follow on social media, celebrities or not. Just figure out a way and have the ears open and be able to say how that would apply to you. Easy peasy, but not really. It takes time. Have patience with yourself. Give yourself grace. Practice grace with yourself first so that other people will practice grace with you too. Know what you need. Know what to expect. And set that expectation for your customers as well. Because like Claudia was saying, she right now with this environment, she's reaching out to her customer every single day. And if we weren't in this environment, I would think she would be checking in as needed or every once in a while. Because that was where we lived yesterday. That's not where we live right now. Anybody have anything else to add? And look, we're already over an hour, guys. So I don't want to take up any more of your time, but this was super, super feely, touchy, lovey, organic, and I totally loved it. I'm going to run through these comments real quick. Does anybody have anything else?
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. I'm trying to figure out a way to schedule these, whether it should be like a Zoom at noon, because obviously we're trying to, get through the way that it rolls off of the mouth. So Zoom at noon sounds cool. I also think it needs to be done early in the morning so that it kind of sets the tone, and then, just real quick check in and then be done with it. Next week, I actually have a couple people that are going to come on and be presenters. So I'm still working through it. Like I said, guys, this is just a way for us to connect with each other and be able to be sources of information for each other, because at the end of this, what are we going to do? We're going to go out and become experts for our friends, for our family, for our customers. So I want this to turn into whatever we need it to be for us as ourselves in our industries. But I also love, the roundtable effect of being able to have, the meeting of the minds and be able to figure things out and just share, with each other. So I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for joining in, and just watch out for the next announcement. Tomorrow is Friday, so we'll figure out a way to do it. So thank you. I want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.